My name is Adam Ledwidge. I have 46 days clean and sober today, and I'm currently a client at Together We Can Recovery and Education Society. It started with, well, what was, stereotypically told if I did it, how it would go wrong. I had a pretty good recovery system set up. I was sponsoring people. I had a home group. I actually worked at Together We Can, and I systematically pulled the plug on those things. It started with the lack of connection. I stopped attending my home group, stopped service. I eventually was waiving the calls that my sponsees were, I was not just ignoring them, but my own sponsor. I became more focused on just work and money, and I also neglected some mental health. I felt like I was completely alone when I was out, that I had lost what I'd worked so hard for, and I was too ashamed to reach out for help again. Well, I thankfully have some family that they were at their wits' end again, and despite my high level of denial and the fact that I could function reasonably, it was spiraling out of control faster than I could grab it. And it was a gift of desperation. I was in complete obsession. I was consumed with the thought of using all day. I started to not sleep again at night, and I only actually had one way that I knew I could get back on track, and the only way that it worked was when I came to Together We Can previous. Actually, my brother phoned me, and he's involved at Together We Can, and he gave me the truth. He's in recovery, and he didn't mince words. He said, you have pushed your wife and your mother to a point that they don't know what to do, and you need to make a decision because it's coming to the fact of not being welcome again, right? And so I was given an ultimatum, essentially. The entry process was full of shame. I had history at Together We Can. I went through a successful 90-day program. I did second stage. I volunteered. I worked here. I checked all the boxes. I had a fantastic life. It was the best version of me I'd ever met. And so all of that should have made it feel like I was coming back home, but I was deeply ashamed and full of self-pity. And I was remorseful that I'd put this wonderful life down. And I was scared, and I was forgetting that it's addiction, and that my mind, things were sick in my head, and that I hadn't chose to be a bad man. But I was a very scared man, and quite honestly, I couldn't do it sober. I had to get reasonably intoxicated to come back here. But when I came back, I was welcomed like it was my own family. Everything I remembered was true, and then some. The organization had grown. The staff welcomed me with open arms. I felt comfortable and safe right away, and it really got better as the days went on. And even on my rough days, I was still just felt like I had come back home. I feel good about the future again. It's funny that the term living a day at a time is prevalent when you're in recovery. It's kind of the whole focus. Yet when I was out in the relapse, it's like the worst kind of day at a time. It's all I'm focusing on is the getting more, somehow keeping the high going. You know what I mean? It's like the worst day at a time you could ever realize. And now it's a hopeful, it's inspirational, and then it's also I have rough days. I've addressed mental health here. I've had to face some of the things I never faced before in my previous time in recovery. I feel like I could say I'm ridiculously hopeful again. The support I get here, the resources that are at my hands, at my grasp through Together We Can, it's unparalleled. I've never had an opportunity like I've had through Together We Can. The feeling I get on a day-to-day is, I guess the best way I could describe it is genuine. I feel like a genuine human again because I'm feeling ups and downs. But I'm also feeling a really nice middle, you know. I waver back and forth in this middle point, and when I go too far to the other side, I'm not all alone anymore. And I have men here that I trust again. I think normal is a setting on a washing machine personally, but whatever that is or something like it is I just feel like I'm authentic, like I'm not just, clouded with substance trying to hold this middle point artificially, and I don't feel like I'm way too happy or way too sad or angry. I just feel like I go like this. And when I'm holding this center point, it's genuine, and I can share that with the other men that are going through the same thing. The way I live today is, not all the credit to the journey I've been on since Together We Can has been in my life. I had really wonderful, loving, inspirational adults in my life growing up. I was definitely shown more good than negative. I had a wonderful mother and some grandparents, and I now have an awesome brother and wife. But it's just a comfortable feeling that I got when I came into recovery. It's been an ongoing process through the years. I've learned how to do that. It feels natural now. It's more natural than any feeling I've had under the influence. And it just grows, and it grows, and sometimes it grows in the wrong direction. But I have a sponsor. I have these senior members in recovery. These wonderful people that help me prune my tree of life as it grows. Honestly, what makes Together We Can the way it is the entire package. I know I've said this before, and I really, really do believe this, is that we have a lineage of success here. We have men that it's generational success. It starts from the top. It starts from, the way it's carried through the board of directors. I think that we have one of the most amazing top management that you could possibly have in an organization that offers what we offer. It's really just all the stones in the archway. I don't know what the keystone is. I think the keystone would just be everybody supports everybody here. There is just this, because there is this lineage of success. It's an ongoing evolution. Because it depends on the day. It depends on where I'm at. I get support from so many angles. It's just an awesomely organic beast here. It's always changing, and as I change, there's always someone or something, there's some group, something offered that helps me progress in my journey, That's the beautiful thing about this place. There isn't just one thing. It's everything. Well, what is my plan after my stay at Together We Can? Together We Can is a part of my life forever. It's my extended family. One thing I've learned is when I try to make too many decisions without advice or seeking counsel from the council, I come away from the center point that I've learned to be in here, and quite frankly, that's scary. So whether I end up working here in some capacity again, I know that my future is helping other men in recovery. That's the happiest I've ever been in my life, was giving back, volunteering, working with other men. Or it's out in the community doing so. This is home base. This never wasn't home base. This is home base for any man that comes here. The minute you step foot on this property, you are part of the extended family, you're part of the T-Dub Army, and I will always have backing. So that's part of the reason I'm hopeful. And just part of what gives me inspiration and helps take away the fear is that I'm just not alone anymore. When I'm part of Together We Can, I'm not alone.